Interstates could equate to states. Here's what they would mean. It's not always possible to do this, to equate an interstate into a state, but we're going to try. The reason why it's not always possible to do this, the reason why it's not always possible to do this is because sometimes they change too rapidly and sometimes there are too many. Like if we take the valleys, California is too tall for any to work. While Washington State could equate to 90 and Oregon could equate to 84, although that would be the extreme northern part of the state, mostly paralleling the Columbia River, you can't always see this. California has far too many. However, Interstate 5 does equate to these states this well. That's California, Oregon, Washington. What about Nevada, Oregon, and Washington? There is no state like that. I-80 is kind of like Nevada's route. And as for north-south highways, you have 15 and 11, both in the Las Vegas area, and only in Clark County. Although 11 does end at the border with Arizona, and the future will expand there, and 15 leaves the state by Mesquite, Nevada, which is close to the next county up, though not in it. Clark is a really big county. I'm telling you. It's a really big county. Although US 95 does parallel, but this isn't interstate, and it also doesn't count one in. I really think that the Nevada interstate system needs to be extended dramatically. It's so horrible right now. I mean, Interstate 11 might fix that when it gets, but right now the current plans are Phoenix to Las Vegas. They're not really too worried on what goes on after LV. They might be wondering, what about the next row? Because we're going to do it up by rows instead of like the other states' way. That's how we decided I'm going to start. Because California is too confusing, so we can't begin. I guess Arizona we might be able to begin, but the first thing we have to mention is the Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Montana row. And there's really only one interstate that fixes it, Interstate 15. Although it does only cut across the northwestern corner of the state, not connecting to the rest of the state's interstate highway system. Now there are plenty of interstates like that. 59, and it does connect to the rest of the state of Arizona. But this is actually very similar. It's kind of like 59 and 24 don't connect with the rest of the Georgia interstate system. However, they do connect with other Georgia highways. It's just that northwestern Arizona is far more remote than northwestern Georgia. So now you might be wondering, interstate, Now, I'm wondering, what about Utah? Well, it goes through western Utah, eastern Idaho, and extreme western Montana. So to New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana. With the exception of Montana, Interstate 25 covers them all. 17 and 19 are exclusively in Arizona. And if you're wondering, or the California, about like that to the Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and then Arkansas/Louisiana, you have 10, 20, although 20 only in Texas and after, and 40. Anyway, interstate. Anyway, so as for the next row, this is the Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, North Dakota route. Now, I might be wondering, other roads in between, of course there are. We can't mention all of them. So you might think, well, what interstate covers this? Well, actually, if 27 were to be extended, hypothetically, it would be able to go through Oklahoma, Colorado, and then basically go up the Colorado road from there. But that's just a dream, and 27 really isn't going to be extended. 25 could also theoretically be extended out to Texas, and that's a dream. Because this is actually never going to happen, realistically. So, you might think Interstate 35 is a good option. And it is not a good option at all. Interstate 35 does go through, it begins in central Texas, central to western Texas actually. Then it goes to central Oklahoma, and it begins in central Kansas, but it turns into southern Kansas, meaning that it goes across the state to the east, meaning that we actually lose this crucial corridor. Now, Nebraska has none. 35 actually continues through western Missouri and the northern half of the state, so I guess northwestern Missouri would make a lot of sense. Then it goes to central Iowa and actually eastern Minnesota. In fact, it gets close to Wisconsin, having I believe, the Interstate 535 bridge crossing from Duluth, Minnesota. And even I-35 crosses the Mississippi at a point. So you might be wondering, are there other, what about other ones? Well, 29 does go through western Missouri and Iowa, hugging the Missouri River. But then at the Iowa-Nebraska border, it's just to the South Dakota-Nebraska border. It shifts over, still paralleling the Missouri, into eastern South Dakota, and then it goes into eastern North Dakota. However, there is a spur of Interstate 29 that does go into Nebraska, given how extremely close it gets, but this still means there's nothing in Nebraska. What about the corridor, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota? Are there any there? Theoretically, if 49 and 29 were to be the same interstate, it might work. 49 begins in central Louisiana, but eventually goes into western Louisiana. Then it goes to western Arkansas in the future through extreme eastern Texas at Texarkana, back into western Arkansas and into Missouri at Kansas City, where it ends. It could expand on a concurrency with 435 and 70 very quickly, then hop on 35, where I-29 currently begins. However, here's the problem. 29 is not out of order at all. Having 49 as a part of 29 would be, however, and there are problems because it won't, neither will take the 29 or the 49 number, although actually you are around 49% of the country at this point. But nobody cares. And here's the thing, it's so annoying because you have actually reached the point, we're at the point now, where normally it's like the numbers ending in a 579 are most common. What makes this so annoying is that it's actually like a 1 or a 3. So my plans to have like an Interstate 41 or an Interstate 43 won't work. You could have like another 41 or 43, but that wouldn't make sense considering how the Interstate 35 corridor shifts. That's actually why Interstate 29 is so, and 49 are basically along the same line. It's the Interstate 35 corridor. That also helps explain why Interstate 37 is located in central Texas, whereas Interstate 39 is located in central Illinois and Wisconsin. That all has to explain it. Even though it's actually more, 39 actually does connect with Interstate 55 and not 35, it's due to the 35 corridor, because 55 does not change all that much. Anyway, before I bore you guys, in this area though, you'd think 55, but it actually goes through Mississippi and Tennessee, then to Arkansas, Missouri. Then it goes into Illinois. But it doesn't solve the Iowa and Minnesota issues. So, you know, and then you're actually the Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, and we're grouping these states together because you can kind of say that if you go due north, you end up in Tennessee. 55 from Mississippi, although not really, considering how, just considering how 55 almost immediately after goes into Arkansas. 65 from Alabama into the central Tennessee, so like you have western, central, eastern Tennessee, and then you have 75 from Georgia. However, what you do realize is that after that, you have North Carolina, though no interstate highway crosses there, and eventually South Carolina, where roads like 85 and 95 go. So that makes things slightly more complicated. Yeah, well, then you have Kentucky, which 55 doesn't even go through. And you might actually be wondering something. Well, at 69, could that just be considered? I mean, I guess. And you have Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. So 55 goes into Illinois, although after Missouri. 69 if will actually go through Indiana, so that's a little bit awkward. 65 will also go through Indiana. 75 through Ohio. Although at a point after Ohio, you do reach West Virginia. Okay, nice corridor video. But then there's actually one more, the East Coast, which 95 plows do. But you might actually be wondering, well, how do these corridors affect interstate highways so much? They affect interstate highways. 35 is, I'd say, the most extreme example. Interstate 27 is in western Texas and hits the city of Amarillo. Interstate 29, however, goes through Fargo and Sioux Falls and in Kansas City, as well as St. Joseph's, Missouri, and goes through western Missouri and Iowa, and the eastern part of the Dakotas. Had 27 extended north, however, it'll go through extreme western Oklahoma. I mean, we could basically assume 29 due to what Interstate 49 does. Extreme western Oklahoma, extreme eastern Colorado, and then actually probably western Nebraska and the Dakotas instead of Wyoming and Montana. I was thinking about it. But Interstate 35 is another example. 37. Considering how it's in central Texas and hits the city of San Antonio. However, Interstate 39 goes through central Illinois and Wisconsin and hits the city of Rockford, Illinois. 41 goes through eastern Wisconsin as well as the northeasternmost city in Illinois, Zion. And it goes through Milwaukee, and so does 43, although it begins in central Wisconsin too, 39 actually. My eye, ow. Yeah, okay. So, before we end this interstate video, we're going to talk about the interstates that go through 3 states. Because 3 states is kind of a very common amount for an interstate to go through. So you might be surprised, Interstate 5 goes through 3 states. It goes through western into central California, western Oregon, separating the western 5th from the rest of the state, and western Washington. And it's the only highway to go, interstate to go from the California border at San Ysidro, California, to the Canadian border at Blaine, Washington. Interstate 26 goes through central South Carolina, western North Carolina, and eastern Tennessee. Interstate 44 begins at centralish Texas, although heading north-southwise. Then it goes through Oklahoma in the central part of the state and through southern into central Missouri. Another 3-highway state is '76, yes. It goes through central Ohio, southern Pennsylvania, and then it goes to the cities of Camden and Belmar in New Jersey. 78 is also another one, going through central Pennsylvania, northern-ish New Jersey, and through lower Manhattan in New York. The next one I believe is 84 West, because it goes through northern Oregon, southern Idaho, and western Utah. Are there any others? Yeah, 91 and 93. Then we'll hit. 91 goes through central Connecticut, western Massachusetts, and extreme eastern Vermont. I mean, at points it's literally the western shore of the Connecticut River. And 93 goes through eastern Massachusetts, goes across the state of New Hampshire, and into eastern Vermont. Okay, bye.